And a very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Tornado Talk, where we talk all things Brevard College Tornado Athletics. Have another exciting show on deck tonight. We'll be talking a bunch of football coming off the big homecoming win. Also, we'll check in with the BC Volleyball program and review all that's happened around here at Brevard College. It's been a busy week or so here with homecoming festivities taking place this past week. But before we get started, would like to thank our sponsors of Brevard College Tornado Athletics, Arby's, BSN Sports, eGolf Ford of Brevard, Hampton Inn, Ingles, Jets Pizza, Parde Sports Medicine, Pepsi, Sully Steamers, Triangle Stop, and Young Transportation. Also want to recognize Parde Sports Medicine and Southeastern Sports Medicine Orthopedics for being the official healthcare provider for Brevard College Athletics. In addition to the outstanding quality of care provided by the orthopedic doctors, Parde also offers care in the areas of oncology, cardiovascular, primary care, and several subspecialties. Parde Sports Medicine, proud partners with Brevard College Athletics. Well, want to catch you up. A lot has been happening around here at Brevard College. Homecoming week concluded this past weekend. What a weekend it was. We had Hall of Fame inductions, the 1980 national champion cross country team, along with Tristan Cowie, who was an early national champion in the sport of cycling for Brevard College on the mountain bike side. Cody Sinyard was here to give a concert. He's a 2010 alum, so we had some country music tunes happening out in the tailgate lot. And another alum, Lily Bartleson, sang the national anthem, not to mention a golf tournament put on by the baseball program, basketball, and lacrosse alumni games. You name it, it was happening. A great turnout on Saturday for the big football game, and just a lot of fun. Women's soccer on Friday night as well, a pep rally. Great times for all during homecoming. Well, catch you up around the world on the pitch and on the court. Men's soccer, BC 5, Mary Baldwin 2. And with that, the men's soccer team continued its unbeaten streak, now 8 matches in a row. Next up, the men's soccer team will host Pfeiffer. That's 7 p.m. on Wednesday. And then another home game this Saturday at Islamel Family Field versus NC Wesleyan. I hope you can check out the red hot men's soccer team. Women's soccer, another draw of versus Greensboro, followed by another draw versus Southern Virginia. And this has been kind of a theme here, and Tornadoes looking to get back in their winning ways. They've got a road trip to Johnson and Wales and Charlotte, and then they'll return home 7 p.m. on Thursday versus Mississippi University for women. And then the women's soccer team will also host Methodist. That's back in conference play, 3 p.m. on Saturday. Cross country had a successful trip to Charlotte for the Royals Challenge, and that included Dalton Hawley winning the USA South Conference Runner of the Week award. He competed in the 8,000 meters with a time of 26:27. Very impressive. 7th out of 271 runners at the event. Cycling, meanwhile, is on the road heading to Durango, Colorado, where the Tornadoes will compete once again in the Mountain Bike National Championships, the USA Cycling Collegiate National Championships. See how the Tornadoes do this year. Last year, huge results, and expecting more of the same this year for the 10-time national champion cycling program. Volleyball will be at Pfeiffer on Wednesday, and then at a USA South quad match in Raleigh, North Carolina this weekend. And then we'll return home for senior night. That's on Tuesday, October the 18th, 6 p.m. at the Bosch. We'll be talking some volleyball later in the show. That brings us to football. BC with a big time win, 22-20 over Methodist on homecoming Saturday. This thing was a thriller. Came down to the final moments yet again in this series between BC and Methodist. And some breaking news, a couple of USA South Player of the Week awards handed out. Mitchell Yoder wins the Offensive Player of the Week. He rushed for 123 yards in that win over Methodist, average of 9.5 yards per attempt. And Toby Naylor named USA South Defensive Player of the Week. He's won several of these. He totaled 13 tackles, including 4 tackles for a loss, a forced fumble, and was a big part of that defense that came up huge. Football now off to a 2-0 start in the USA South Conference. A big task ahead as they travel to Montgomery, Alabama this weekend to take on 23rd ranked Huntington on Saturday at 2 p.m. And then the next home game for the Tornadoes will be versus LaGrange on October the 22nd, 2 p.m. at Ives Lamel Family Field. And with that, excited to bring in our first guest of this evening to break down that big football performance even further and catch up with defensive coordinator Shane Nelson. Coach, thanks for joining the show.
How's it going, Phil?
Yeah, it's going great after Saturday's performance. That just absolutely electrified the Brevard College, community here, and would like to start with that. This was going to be a tight game. We kind of knew that going in. It always seems to be the case against Methodists, and you guys did a great job with the game plan, but I know the players on the field executed as well. To you, looking back on it now with a little time to digest, what was really the key in, the Tornadoes getting that victory?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we knew going in, since I've been here since 2019, it was going to be a back and forth close game. It's just how it's been with Methodist. But looking back at the game, we kind of knew, they have a very talented quarterback and some talented skill guys. We knew if we could take one of their receivers, number 3, kind of out of the game, we felt very confident that, we would be able to kind of slow down their offense, and we did a great job of that, whether it was kind of manning him up or just getting hands on him and stuff like that. They had a very talented running back, but, we were just trying to pressure where we could in the run game and limit him. And then, back to that quarterback, once we got him into kind of that third and longer situation, wanted to try to pressure him early and kind of get him off the spot, as I like to say, and kind of, just confuse him a little bit about what coverage we were running and, when we were pressuring, when we weren't pressuring with some of those disguises and stuff. So I think we did a great job of that. Obviously, it was one of those days on Saturday where it almost didn't matter what I called. Those players were they were flying around. They were playing physical. And so I was really proud of the way we played and fought to the last whistle, because that's what it came down to.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And, what was compelling to me also, Coach, was, you were without a couple of key starters on that defensive side of things, a couple of key players in the secondary. Guys had to get shifted around a little bit. And we saw, the depth of the Tornadoes on display.
One of those guys that kind of stepped up this week was Mr. Woods. He did a phenomenal job of kind of being the center, a key part of the game plan, and helping us limit that the passing attack that Methodists have, and kind of moving him around and doing different things with him. And another guy is Tyler Harrison, who, again, with what we were playing, he was playing nickel, he was playing corner, he's doing a lot of different things for us. So that's what that's a really just one of those things where we did a great job in recruiting and getting guys in here. So now, we have some depth, and, when guys get nicked up and stuff like that, it's just one of those things where it's next man up, and Coach Wiley, our defensive backs coach, has done a phenomenal job with those guys. And he's helped us out a ton, so it's been great to kind of see all that work together.
Do want to remind folks this is an interactive program, so feel free to leave some comments in the chat boxes wherever you may be tuning in from. Coach, one other thing that obviously sticks out is these first half shutouts that we have going here. Once again, shut down Methodist in the first half. 13-0 was the score going into halftime. And in the time that you've been defensive coordinator, it dates back even further, from when you took over as defensive coordinator at the end of last year, got elevated to that role. 0 points in the first half against USA South competition. That's quite the streak. Is that something that was just figured out recently? Is that something that's been on mind? Perhaps it could be motivation now?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't anything I really even thought about, didn't know what was going on until I think Coach Kyatt mentioned it this morning. but yeah, I mean, I think again, it just goes back to our kids rising to the occasion. We played in some big games, early on in as my time as a defensive coordinator against some really good opponents. And so our guys start fast. They play with great energy. So the only thing I'd like to do now, with not letting up any points in the first half is hopefully we can, not let any points up in the second half. You know what I mean? And I would just go back to our guys just finishing strong, and defending every blade of grass. That's one of the winning edges we kind of talk about on defense. It doesn't matter where we start out, on the field, whether it's, them pinned on the one or they start on the one. We're going to defend every blade of grass and try to get a stop best we can. So just, finishing games, with the same energy. I always tell my guys, walk slow, drink ice water. If we're up here with our energy, can we just keep it there? Can we sustain it right throughout the entire game? But, our guys just do a fantastic job. I mean, they rise to the occasion.
Yeah, and they certainly rose to the occasion each of these past 2 weeks. Both interesting atmospheres at Lamel Family Field. The Friday night game, the first time we've ever had a football game on campus under the lights. That place was absolutely rocking that night, as you get a look there at that stat we had mentioned before. But also this homecoming game. I mean, a record crowd at Lamel Family Field, all sorts of pomp and circumstance, pregame concert, you name it, the place was absolutely rocking, and the players responded. How much does the atmosphere play into that energy level you speak of?
Feed off of it. I know they love playing underneath the lights. Some of our best practices even are at night under the lights. So our guys love being on the turf under those lights. And it doesn't matter about weather or anything like that. Obviously on Friday, we had a little rain in that second half. But our guys love it, and then they always feed off the fans, and that student section is going wild, and all of our parents and alumni and everybody who shows up to people from in town, when they show up to these games, man, and they're getting loud, we feed off of it. You know what I mean? So it's great that, us being on campus and everything, and you guys make it so accessible for people to get up here. It makes it awesome. It's a smaller stadium, but it feels like it's packed like one of those big time, Power 5 schools. Sometimes it's so loud. So I love it. It's great. So it's awesome.
Yeah, and when the tornadoes are producing like that on the field as well, it's just clicking on all cylinders, no doubt. Well, a big test ahead, and certainly there's plenty of work ahead with the USA South Conference slate. But heading down to Montgomery, Alabama on Saturday, number 23 in one poll, number 25 in another. Huntington has cracked the top 25. They've got an excellent squad this year. Coach, can you preview that matchup a bit for us? I know it's early in the week, but I know you all are already game planning.
Yeah, for sure. Huntington's Huntington. They're a very well-coached team. Their head coach does things the right way. And we feel good about it. You know what I mean? It's obviously going to be kind of as it has been in the past with Huntington. It's going to be close. We know that. They have a very talented quarterback. They have a very talented running back that we need to slow down. Defensively. I know offensively, Coach Lindsay and Coach Kyatt and Coach Cruz have talked about. They pressure a decent amount. They have two guys that are kind of their mainstays the past couple of years on defense. That we always have to kind of keep an eye out for them. But it's one of those things where kind of, again, same thing with Methodist. These last couple of years, it's been close. Our guys play extremely hard. And I definitely think that, like I said, they'll rise to the occasion, and they're going to lay it all out there. So, hopefully once all that's said and done, we look at the scoreboard and we got the W, but it's going to take a lot of work this week.
Big time USA South Conference matchup this weekend, Brevard versus Huntington. We're speaking with defensive coordinator Shane Nelson, who, by the way, is also the inside linebackers coach and the director of football operations. Coach, tell us a little bit about your duties beyond, calling the plays on the defensive side.
Yeah, I mean, so, past just, telling everybody what to do, I guess. I coached the inside linebackers, which I played inside linebacker in college. I was a 3-year starter. So, it's very natural to me to be able to coach those guys. And I have a fantastic group this year. As you mentioned, Toby Naylor got himself the USA South Defensive Player of the Week, which I was super pumped for him. A guy like Reese Rubio, who's really stepped up with an injury we've had, and has been playing lights out, just doing an awesome job. Guys like Eli Everhart, Jake Haig, Brooks, Ashford, are guys that are rotating in there, and the level of play is not taken. It's not spiking down. Those guys, I have a very talented room. Though not a lot of those guys can hold up with anybody in this conference. You know what I mean? I've got a couple younger guys like a Noah Allen, a Logan Jones, Diego Cuffy-Disla, Bailey Ramey, who are still kind of learning a little bit, but are still very talented players. Hopefully, once some of these older guys get out of their way, they'll flourish, I think. And then on the director of football ops side, it's really luckily this year I haven't had to do too much of booking of our travel and meals. Coach Kai took that one off my plate, but anything we order, gear, helmets, stickers, anything like that, I do all the paperwork for. I got to get it approved. I'm signing, making copies. So it's a lot of administrative work, but it's a great opportunity for me. This being my second year, I believe, doing this, possibly third. I can't remember anymore. But to kind of see the inner workings of a program, sometimes when you're just a position coach and you don't really see things from a head coach perspective. So even budgetary stuff that me and Coach Kite have to talk about. When I first started doing this, I had no clue about any of this. You know what I mean? But now, it kind of helps me. So maybe, hopefully further on in my career, if I ever have a chance to become a head coach, it'll help me out with a lot of that stuff.
Outstanding. Coach Shane Nelson arrived to Brevard College in 2019, then was elevated to the defensive coordinator position. Since then, we have a couple of these statistics ready to roll. 0 first half points allowed in the 3 USA South games under Coach Nelson, along with an average of just 12 points per game in those USA South games. So, great start under the helm of Coach Nelson on the defensive side of things. Then the Tornadoes, coming off that big win over Methodist, will head to Alabama this weekend to take on Huntington. Coach, can you stick with us just a minute or two longer? We're going to bring in a couple of your student athletes from the defensive side. So enter in the building here, Tyler Harrison, also James Woods. I'm going to hand it back to you, Coach, to help us introduce these two to NATO Nation.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I'll start with Tyler. Me and Tyler have been together for a minute now. I think your freshman was 2019. Tyler's come a long way since then. I remember he was kind of just a scrawny little corner who had to play right away. Probably wasn't ready, but he's done a great job of working hard in the off season. And I mean, since the second half of last year and going into this year, man, he's played lights out. It's like he hasn't missed a step. He's starting nickel. He can play corner, shoot. Sometimes we get into some formation and he's down there in the box. I'm like, man, maybe he could play linebacker. I don't know, but he's a tough kid, from Franklin, and super pumped that he's developed the way he has and turned into the player that he is and the person that he is. And then Mr. Woods, man, first year with us, junior college transfer kid. I knew after the first practice, I was like, this kid's going to be a playmaker. I don't know where yet, but I said, this kid's going to be a playmaker. And each week he's kind of just upped his level of play, whether it's on special teams with a block punt and score against Averett, or just locking people up, throughout our first couple games. And then, like I said, against Methodist, he had a tall task of handling that number 3 for them. And he did a tremendous job. He's laid down some big hits in this game, and that 2-point conversion stop was huge, I think I lost about 5 years off my life from that game. But like I said, these two guys are great kids and obviously great football players, and it's a pleasure to be able to coach them and everything like that. So.
Well said, Coach. Appreciate you spending a little time with us this evening on Tornado Talk. Congrats on the big homecoming win. Best of luck this week in preparations for Huntington.
Thank you, Phil.
All right, there he goes, defensive coordinator Shane Nelson. And as Coach helped us introduce these two, Tyler Harrison and James Wood. Tyler, thanks for joining the program.
How you doing, Phil?
Doing great. And James Woods, welcome aboard Tornado Talk. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Great to see you guys, especially coming off that win on Saturday. That I think everybody around Brevard College has a big smile on their face throughout today after that performance and that homecoming celebration. Tyler, let's start with you. You guys played great defensively, shut down some key pieces, when it came to Methodist, ultimately got the team win. looking back on it, what did you guys do right and do so well to make that happen?
It all starts with preparation. So all every day during the week, everybody brought good energy to practice. The coaches are always harping on that. It all starts with us and bringing the energy and how we fly around. And I feel like everybody's flying around during the game and had a good mindset. So I feel like that led us to get the victory.
James, would you like to add to that as far as, how that preparation during the week paid off?
Yeah, just the same like he was saying, man. We just bringing good energy, and then like our DB coach, he make us just tell us his purpose every day, like our purpose to play the game, and like our reason behind what we do. And I think just that alone right there just makes us fly around, and we love playing football, man. So you feel me? It ain't really nothing to come out there and just play.
Yeah, Ladarius Wiley, defensive backs coach. You guys as a unit were just outstanding, and James, coach mentioned it. We would be remiss to do this interview and not talk about that stop on the 2-point conversion, because we thought this game was coming down once again to one of these absolute cliffhangers, and it kind of was. And here we are. Methodist has a chance to tie the game, and the quarterback scrambles on his own, and you make a one-on-one tackle to stop him in his tracks. There was a moment where, they reviewed it and all that and ultimately picked up the flag. But from your perspective, what was the key for you on the field in that moment to make that play?
So we was in man coverage, and my dude had came in on a slant. The quarterback was already looking the other way, and then once you come to the scramble drill, it's just plaster, stay with your man. So I took my man, I kind of pushed him out of bounds, and I seen the ref throw his hat down. I know he's not eligible to catch the ball no more. And once I seen the quarterback run my way, I just told myself to make a play. I had asked God to give me an opportunity before that drive had started, and he blessed me with the opportunity to make the play.
And Tyler, I'd love to hear it from your perspective as well. Like as you were watching that go down, but then, once you guys realized that, hey, there's no penalty on this, it's ours. And then also, recovering the onside kick and sealing that win.
Oh yeah. I know every day, every play that the guys behind me and the guys around me are going to make the plays. So I feel comfortable in any situation that our team's put in. So, I mean, when I was out there and I seen him make the hit, I was like, yeah, that's a ball player. That's James Woods. James Woods is a ball player. But no, just knowing they picked up that flag and for a good reason, because it was a pretty good hit. Man, just all the weight off my shoulders just left, and we got the win knowing we got it.
Yeah, and Tyler, we talked to Coach a little bit about that atmosphere out there at Islamel Family Field, and I'd love to hear it from your perspective as a player. How big is it when the crowd's rocking like that, when there's all this other stuff happening and everybody's watching and the homecoming vibe? How important is that energy for you guys on the field to perform?
Oh, man, I mean, we bring energy, of course, ourselves, but we also feed off of other people's energy in the crowd. So once we hear the crowd cheering for us, it kind of gives you chill bumps just knowing that everybody's cheering for you on the field during that play. I remember one time, it was a third down. It was like 3rd and 8. And the crowd was the loudest I've ever heard it at Islamel. And it was just a great feeling knowing everybody's cheering us on and rooting for us.
And James, Coach mentioned, you're a newcomer to Brevard College, transferring in. How are you enjoying Brevard College as a whole so far? Tell us, what it's been like for you so far.
Man, it's been great. Like my DB room, them all my brothers, my boy T, he keeps me lit on the field all the time. You feel me? So we just be having a great time. And then like campus wise, you got a great view. You got the mountains surrounding you and stuff. Like the school I was at, Lewisburg, it was really kind of trapped into like a little small space. There wasn't really too much to do. And then like you were saying about the fans, like I missed that. I ain't played in front of fans since I graduated high school in 2019. Like I've been playing straight games that feel like scrimmages. So like just having the fans, having the student section acting the way they was acting, like it was love. And then my family there, like it was just great. I like being here, man. It's great to be here for sure.
Great to hear. And, Coach also mentioned you winning that Special Teams USA South Conference nod earlier this season. Tell us a little bit about special teams and, how important that is for you as an individual, but also, as a whole for the Tornadoes.
Well, like for me personally, I have two great seniors above me, which is Cam and then Jock. And like I know if I want to get on the field, then I have to like show out on special teams, and then me just making them plays, it's like get me more opportunities to be on the field with my boys. And I mean, I feel like if everybody just took special teams hard, like serious, and went 110%, then there's no game we're going to lose, because that's really it's a small part of the game, but it really holds a lot of weight. And Coach Hoff, man, I'm telling you, he keeps us ready every day in the special teams meeting. He makes sure we prepared, and he just tells us expect that we're going to make the block or expect we're going to make the play. And I go out there expecting I'm going to make the play, and it just somehow happens, man.
Outstanding. Yeah, Coach Jack Wellenhofer, special teams coordinator. You guys are good at like giving other people shout outs and stuff, as you're answering your questions. Really nicely done, Tyler and James. Tyler, you're part of this amazing senior class this year. You guys have been through some stuff. You've had a lot of success throughout your career, but I know you're hungry for more. Tell me a little bit about senior class this year, what maybe you guys have been talking, amongst yourselves as far as, hey, we're going to get this done this year.
Yep. So all the seniors on this team were part of, mostly all of them were part of the 2019 season where we got the ring when we played Carnegie Mellon. So, but I feel like we're all more hungry to achieve more than that, because I mean we've already won a ring before, and we have all these new people that we're on the team with, like James. James is a great addition to the team, and I would love to have him, and I'd love to share a ring moment with him. That'd be awesome. But yeah, I feel like every senior on the team has stepped up to the plate and has played their role on the team, and I feel like everybody looks up to them at a different aspect, and they're great leaders on the team.
Well said. And Tyler, senior year, tell us a little bit about your studies. What degree are you heading towards, and have you thought about what you want to do post-graduation?
Yes, sir. I always have dreams. Everybody has dreams. If you didn't have a dream, then, I mean, what are you doing? But, of course, there's always NFL dreams and aspirations. But I'm a business major, so I would like to run a business maybe later on, or start one of my own businesses. And I'm also exercise science minor, so I also would like maybe later on coaching or being a personal trainer or something like that.
Very good. James, have you selected a major yourself, and what are you busy with in the classroom?
No, sir, I haven't selected a major yet, but I'm planning on doing probably exercise science or something with psychology. And I'm just trying to stay focused in the class, man, and make sure I keep the grades up so everything will be good.
Very good. One or two more before we let you guys go. This weekend's a big matchup against what's become a big rival with Brevard College, Huntington. You guys got to make the long trip down to Montgomery, Alabama, 2:00 on Saturday, playing a ranked opponent. And these are two powerhouses in the USA South squaring off this Saturday. I know it's early in the week, but Tyler, you guys are already starting to prepare, I'd imagine. Tell us about it.
Oh, of course. So we'll be in the film room starting tomorrow. Everybody's going to be hungry for this one because it's Huntington. Huntington's usually the best team floating around usually, and they got a big chip on their shoulder, and we would like to take that down. And of course, and we beat them in the COVID year, and everybody knowing that feeling and how it was to beat them it's going to be great. And I think we have a great team to do it, and we have the right coaches, and the game plan is going to be there.
Yeah, in the way the defense has been playing, if you guys keep that up, it's going to make it hard on Huntington, no doubt about that. James, I'm sure you've heard some things about this rivalry and so forth. From your perspective, you excited about a big road test like this weekend?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm definitely excited, man. I trust this defense more than anything. I think we're the best defense in the nation, and I stand on that, and I would just think that we're going to have a big impact, and our offense is getting it rolling. You've seen these past couple weeks, they've been scoring more. They've been doing a lot more for us, keeping us off the field. So I definitely feel offense coming there, play that game, this defense is going to hold us down. And there's only two hands on the towel, like Coach told us, man, and we can't let go of it. You feel me? I feel like we win this game right here, even though we still have to play. I feel like we can go get that ring after this. This is our test right here. And we all ring chasing, man. We want to win.
Yes, sir.
Hey, well said. I love the focus of you two. Plenty ahead of us still, but I'm telling you, congratulations. That was a heck of a win on Saturday as well against a very difficult opponent, and you guys shut them down on the defensive end with the 22-20 win over Methodist on homecoming. Before I let you go, I want to give you each the opportunity. Any shout outs or thank yous you may have, anybody who may be tuning in or who you just want to give a thank you to who's helped you along the way. Tyler, you're first.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out my mom and dad, of course, my whole family. They've put me in this position to be here, and now they don't really know how thankful I am for that. I'd like to appreciate my coaches. They put us in the right position to win on Saturday. So, of course, I'm thankful of that. Shout out my boys on the team, of course. Those are my brothers. We go to war every day for. But, yeah, that's about it.
Very good. James Woods, same opportunity for you. Shout outs?
I want to get a thank you to God for putting me in this situation, but definitely my moms, my sisters, they traveling to come and see me play every week. And a shout out on the team I want to give somebody that's I feel like going to have a big role this week and really going to play big for us. My boy KJ Dagout. He's a transfer from Lewisburg with me. I feel like he's going to have a big game this week, and I'm just looking forward to that.
Yeah, I noticed KJ starting to become more and more of a factor each game. So I think that's a good call, James. I think you're onto something, no doubt.
Okay.
All right, Tyler Harrison, James Woods, part of this electrifying defense of the Brevard College Tornadoes that helped the Tornadoes earn a 22-20 win on homecoming. And guys, best of luck this week. As you know, some of the fans are starting to chime in here as well as you head to Huntington down in Alabama to try to keep these winning ways going in the USA South Conference. Tyler, James, great job on the program. Thanks for joining the show.
Thank you,
Phil.
All right, there they go. And we're going to switch gears quickly here from Islamel Family Field into the Boshemer Gymnasium, home, of course, of Brevard College Volleyball. And with us, Coach Abbie Parde. Coach, thanks for joining the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Phil.
All right, Coach, we're getting kind of towards the end of the season. Like it's remarkable, like how this has just flown by. And part of it is you play these quad matches and these tournaments and so forth, and you get a bunch of games in all at once, it seems like. But if you can catch us up kind of where the team's at as heading down the home stretch here, what's ahead for the team, but also, what are the key learnings to this point?
Yeah, so this past weekend we finished up playing everybody in the conference for the first round. So we start the second round of playing everybody again on Wednesday with Pfeiffer. We're kind of calling it the revenge tour is what we're kind of calling it in practice right now. Things have been tough. We have been short a player almost every single weekend due to COVID or injuries. Something that's just totally out of our control, and finding ways to manage that is what we're focusing on a lot in practice. Our energy, our effort, our communication, those are things that we can control every day. So that's something that we're focusing a lot on inside of the gym as well. But yeah, we're looking forward to the second round of conference and hopefully taking some dubs from some teams that we fell short the last couple of weeks, but we have a good shot at.
I like that mentality and that idea of the revenge tour. And it starts on Wednesday at Pfeiffer. And this matchup, midweek matchup against Pfeiffer, and it makes one think back to September the 22nd. It went 5 sets against Pfeiffer. That was, whenever you see a 5-setter on the result sheet, it makes you kind of raise your eyebrows a little bit. Reflect back on that match a little bit and how these two teams match up, Pfeiffer and Brevard.
Yeah, we're very similar to Pfeiffer's level of talent and their style of play. They run everything fast on the pins as well, and they try to get their middles involved as much as possible, which is something that we're working on as well. But we're dropping a couple 5th set matches this season, and it comes down to just being so mentally engaged for the whole 2 hours. And that's something that's really tough about volleyball is it's so fast and you aren't allowed to take any plays off. And when those sets drop and they're so close, you look back and it's like 1 or 2 plays here or there that you're like, oh, I wish we would have, stayed a little bit more engaged in that. But again, something we're working on, and we're going to hopefully bring that energy on Wednesday. So looking forward to taking them on.
And then following the trip to Pfeiffer, another one of these USA South Conference quad matches, this one in Raleigh, North Carolina versus Meredith and William Peace. Tell us a little bit about kind of operationally, logistically, what's the key to kind of keeping the team fresh and making sure you can play 2 matches in one day and keep your legs and all that. 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. are the game times for this one in particular.
Yeah, the quad matches have been tough and something that's different for our program this year since we switched conferences. It's difficult because we also play a match midweek too, so we're always guaranteed at least 3 games a week. Um, it really started off with our focus at the beginning of the season of just being in shape endurance-wise and having that conditioning down, and now we're going a little bit softer in practices where we're not going the full 2 hours, so our legs are saved by the time we come around on Saturdays, but still hitting the weight room and making sure that, we're the more in shape team so that we can take those games when they go long, especially if it's 2 5-set matches on a Saturday. I mean, that's 10 sets. That's a lot of volleyball in one day. So we have some good depth on our bench as well that we can pull some people in when we start to get tired or get exhausted. So yeah, those matches are tough, but we're managing just like everyone else in the conference. I mean, we're all doing it. So
Following those 3 consecutive road matches, one more home regular season matchup for the Tornadoes versus Greensboro at the Bosch. That's Tuesday, October the 18th. Be sure to mark your calendars. Come on out for that one, 6 o'clock. And it's senior night. And I know you don't have a large senior class this year. In fact, I believe just one senior. Yep. But hey, we're going to celebrate senior night. And we're going to celebrate Brevard College volleyball. I know Grace is been a big part of this program. Tell us how meaningful that is. Maybe you can reflect back on your own senior night, Coach.
Yeah, I'm super excited for Grace. Her journey throughout this whole program has been very unique. She's had 3 different coaches throughout her 4 years. I'm obviously this year, and she had Anna for 2, and then she had another interim head coach within her time here as well. So she has gone through a lot of changes, but she has really embodied trusting the process, and I think she's really seeing that through this year, and it's exciting to watch her grow. And she's a captain for us for this year as well. So she's bringing so much leadership and excitement, and she does a really great job at holding her teammates accountable, but still making it really enjoyable to be in the gym. And I'm really excited to watch her on Tuesday. And her parents are coming up for the first time this year since they're from Florida. So she's really excited to have that support too. It'll be good.
Grace Pukas, the senior setter from Valrico, Florida, will be celebrated on that senior night. Senior nights are great. It's not just, you get to witness the senior and the families and so forth, but it's such a celebration of the entire program as well when you see all the teammates, get into it also. Really a fun night. So hope you can join us on Tuesday, the 18th versus Greensboro. Well, Coach, we talked to you a little while back a little bit about, hey, this is your first head coaching experience, and you've got an assistant coach with you who actually came straight off the softball field. She was a dual sport athlete, Brittany Franks. We had her on the show a couple weeks ago. But I'd love to hear kind of, how you guys are doing, as far as the two of you go. And, I'm sure it's been an adventure, an eye-opener, all these things. I could probably, come up with all sorts of words, but, I'd love to hear just from you directly, both you and Coach Franks, just how, meaningful this experience has been for you guys as you guys, get your careers launched as well.
Yeah, it has been definitely a whirlwind of emotions and challenges, but so many successes in there as well. I truly have to thank this program. The girls bought into to Britt and I taking over right away, and it wouldn't be nearly as much fun or enjoyable if they didn't respect us and trust us as coaches. But they do, and I think that's what makes this so incredible, especially as a first-year coach. And there's so many learning curves that we are going through together. I'm learning the players, they're learning me, and my coaching style and kind of my expectations. But all I would say is every day it's something new in terms of learning how to handle a new situation or, yeah, honestly, it's always something new, but it's always something exciting. And the girls make it so worth it every day. Like, I love showing up and working with them in the gym. Time flies by when we're in there. Even our 6 a.m. practices, I couldn't tell you what time it is when we're 20 minutes into a practice because we're in such a flow state. But yeah, it's been a really good learning curve. And Britt and I work flawlessly together. We support each other a ton, and there's a lot of trust there as well. The girls like to call us a force that we are two peas in the pod there. So yeah, it's been a really great experience. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, really appreciate that answer. And Coach, now that you've been here a little bit too, and gotten to know Brevard College, gotten to know this area, the mountains of Western North Carolina, gotten to know intimately, of course, the Brevard College volleyball program. If there's a recruit perhaps tuning in tonight and wondering what we're all about up here in the mountains, what would you tell them as far as, why they might want to consider Brevard?
I would say the relationships and just the personal touches that everyone puts into each other, and into every program and into all the facilities and staff. I mean, truly everyone invests in each other. And I think that's what makes Brevard successful. And I tell that to all the recruits, it's really hard to fail here because everyone is invested in your success and wanting to see you succeed. And that's not just in terms of students, but also in terms of faculty and staff. So yeah, relationships and investing in one another.
Very good. Well, Coach, if you can stick with us just a little bit longer here, we're going to bring in a couple of your student athletes who have entered the building here virtually, Kendall Rockstad and Blair Nance. Coach, before we let you go, help introduce these two to NATO Nation.
When I decided to put these two on here together, I don't think I was thinking clearly because these two are wild. Kendall is a sophomore. She is a middle blocker for us. She does so well at the net and she has improved so much this season. It's so fun to see how excited she gets when she makes something successful. Like she's just like head over heels, like, oh my God, Abbie. And I'm like, yeah, Kendall, I know, man, you did it. So it's so exciting to watch her and her energy. She is loud and she's here and she wants this team to be great. And I just love how much support she gives to her teammates. And then Blair's a freshman. She's from North Carolina as well. She can go anywhere on the court, not ask questions, and she finds a way to be successful for this program. And there's so much value in that. Her ball control is out of the gym and she's so young. So I can't wait to see where she goes in the next 4 years. But they're both incredibly coachable, awesome teammates, and they are so fun to have in the program. I just always smile when I see them. I can't help it. Like they're hilarious. So yeah, have a great time with them, Phil. Good luck.
Sounds like we're going to have some fun on Tornado Talk here coming up here. Coach, best of luck this week at Pfeiffer and then in Raleigh over the weekend. And we'll see you at the Bosch on Tuesday, October the 18th, senior night versus Greensboro. Thanks for joining the program, Coach.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Phil.
All right, there she goes. And what an introduction. Kendall Rockstad and Blair Nance. Kendall, thanks for joining the program.
Of course, of course.
And Blair, making your Tornado Talk debut. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Outstanding, thanks. Well, Blair, let's start with you. Freshman season out of Roxborough, North Carolina. Tell us, how's it been? This collegiate experience, being at Brevard College, being a part of this Brevard College volleyball program.
It's definitely different than high school was, but I absolutely love it. Like, I love all my teammates so much, like seeing them every day, literally just, it makes me so happy. Like, I joke around with every single one of them. They're all legit my best friends.
That's so cool. And Kendall, now your sophomore season, and so I can imagine you can probably reflect back of what it was like to be in Blair's shoes. But here you are, sophomore year. How do things kind of change, going from a freshman to a sophomore year and just being that much more familiar with all your surroundings and so forth?
It's honestly crazy just to hear you say sophomore because it feels like I was just a freshman my first day, like yesterday. It's definitely different in the sense that like I feel 10 times more comfortable with my team. I feel closer with people. I've been able to like make new bonds that I wasn't able to last year. And it's definitely a learning curve with just like getting to know people. And I've appreciated every part of it.
And Blair touched on a little bit about how close you guys become as a unit, Kendall. Like, if I think back, you guys were back here in August, grinding it out in practices at the Bosch and, have been going hard ever since. Can you talk about that, and not to mention the road trips when you're on a bus, for hours on end, but just how you all just as the season evolves, just become closer and closer and the friendships get that much closer as well.
I think it's really nice to be able to come here like a week early before everyone else gets on campus and be able to just be around the volleyball team and get to know each other, because that itself is great team bonding. Like just being able to show up and get through preseason together and tough it out. And I think it's being on the bus ride for 5 hours definitely adds a lot to it too. It's a big way for us to like get along and get to know each other like day by day. Like you learn something new every day from everyone.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And, Blair, tell us a little bit about on the court. You're an outside hitter. Tell us, kind of yourself as a volleyball player, perhaps how you've evolved, since you started playing volleyball to the player you are today.
This program has definitely made me more confident in my ability through the coaches and my teammates. Like no matter where I'm at on the court, there's always somebody on the court or off the court that is literally cheering you on, even when you mess up. Like even when you mess up, they are still cheering you on. And that's just honestly, I've never like had that in high school. So seeing that here has just made me an all-around better player and person.
And Kendall Rockstad listed as a middle blocker. I must say, like, we haven't really investigated the role of middle blocker that much here on Tornado Talk over the years. For the audience who might be new to volleyball, describe middle blocker, your responsibilities. What's the job of a middle blocker?
I would say it's definitely one of the hardest positions on the court. I will say that. But I think it's one of those things where as a middle, your job isn't necessarily to get kills on the board or anything like that. It's more of just to be a defensive threat and put up a big block and stop the other team from getting kills on our side. I think it's one of the biggest things to be a middle, because you're really trying to hustle back and forth, side to side of the net. Like it's a lot, but I think it's a big role to be there defensively for your team.
Yeah, and it's something we probably don't talk enough about is the defensive side of things in volleyball. Blair, tell us a little bit about how hard you guys work in practice on defense.
We do defense drills every single day for like half the practice.
Mm-hmm.
And it like literally everybody in our program, like even if you're not a DS, like everybody knows how to pass a ball. So literally you can get thrown in anytime, and I'm 100% confident that everybody can pass a ball by now because we do it every single day in practice.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Blair, tell us more about your upbringing as a volleyball player. When did you first pick up a volleyball, and when did it start to become real serious for you?
I started playing volleyball in middle school, but I didn't start playing travel until 8th grade. And I didn't realize I really wanted to play in college until high school. And that's when I started like getting recruited and stuff. And I was like, wow, I can actually like play in college. And so then when I got, when Abbie messaged me here, I saw that it was like the perfect distance from home. And it like, as soon as I visit here, it felt just like family, and I loved it.
Outstanding. Yep, out of Roxborough, North Carolina. And Kendall Rockstad out of Kannapolis, North Carolina. Tell us a little bit about your journey as a volleyball player. When did you get started, and ultimately, how'd you find Brevard College?
So I actually started in middle school as well. I didn't start till my 8th grade year, and I didn't get into travel until my sophomore year of high school. And it was definitely an experience because it was coming into a sport that I feel like a lot of my teammates had played for a long time. And I guess it was just like I had to gain my confidence in volleyball. And once I started gaining my confidence, I started getting offers to colleges and everything. And I came to visit Brevard, and it was one of those things where it felt like home. It felt like family. Like meeting Anna and the other teammates that were here, it was just really nice to see how well they got along and how fun the practices looked. And it definitely felt like home to me as well.
Very good. Great to hear. Well, the season, there's a lot of opportunity still within it. And I know Coach informed me you guys are calling this the Revenge Tour, and it begins on Wednesday against Pfeiffer.
Mm-hmm.
The Tornadoes and the Falcons of Pfeiffer played a tight 5-setter at the Bosch last month. So these two teams match up very well against each other. Kendall, can you tell us a little bit from the team perspective, from the players' perspective, about this revenge tour, about this Pfeiffer matchup, and how you guys are serious about getting a W?
I think Abbie put it perfectly. It is the revenge tour. We finally start over in our conference playing the teams again, and we've taken a set, maybe 2 sets from each team in this conference, and I think we are more than capable of going out there and just putting it all on the court. At this point, we have nothing to lose, and I'm willing to put everything out there for my team and for my coaches, and I really hope that we can take a few dubs from here on out because, it'd be nice.
Yeah, no doubt. And Blair, what's the key to winning these 5 setters? Like it seems like everything suddenly the tension rises and all this. Every point matters. What's going to be the key to winning a 5-set matchup if that comes up again against one of these opponents?
I think just our competitiveness drive. Like we in practice are so competitive against each other, and it's just like so much fun. So I think that if we just put that energy into games, we will literally have so much fun, and it will be amazing.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Well, Blair, I know it's your freshman year, so I don't expect any freshman to have it all figured out academically yet. However, if you've started to sort of, lean towards a major, or perhaps you've selected one, or, maybe you're just checking things out, but tell us what you're up to in the classroom.
I am a criminal justice major. I don't know exactly where I want to go with it, but I was I think in the future I want to be like FBI type thing. So I know it takes a lot to get there. So hopefully, one day I'll be there. Criminal minds stuff.
Wow. Cool. Good stuff. And in a great program here at Brevard College to prepare you for that. Kendall, tell us what you're up to in the classroom.
I'm an exercise science major with a psychology minor, and I really hope to go into the occupational therapy field. I know I have to get, 2 years after this, so I'm looking forward to it. It's definitely something I've been wanting to do since my high school career, so I'm excited.
Very good. Well, I'm excited to see you guys back in action at the Posh. That'll be next Tuesday. Senior night. We'll be celebrating Grace Pukas, the senior class. I know you guys are going to make it a festive evening versus Greensboro on Tuesday, October the 18th. Well, before I let you go, do want to give you each the opportunity for any shout outs or thank yous. And hey, we got to live up to Coach Parde's, promotion of you two. I want you guys to get as wacky, loose, crazy as you want during these shout outs and thank yous and just, let loose here. And we'll let you go first, Kendall. Shout outs or thank yous.
I just want to shout out to my teammates and my coaches, and really to Abbie for coming in and taking this head coach position as seriously as she can and doing everything that she can for us as a team. And I also want to shout out to my family as well, my sister and my mom. Miss them dearly. But yeah, that's all the shout outs I got. So go ahead, Blair.
Definitely teammates. I love all of them so much. I can't even describe them. They are crazy, but they're my best friends. Definitely shout out to Abbie and Britt. They have confidence in me literally when I don't even have confidence in me. Shout out to my family, my mom, my stepdad, my friends, my dog. I miss my dog so much. Literally miss her so much. Yeah.
Outstanding. I think we covered a lot of ground there. No doubt. Kendall and Blair, you guys did a great job on this evening's Tornado Talk. Can't wait to see you in the Bosch next week. Best of luck with these road trips this week as well. And great job on the show. Thanks for joining the program.
Thank you.
All right, there they go. And that wraps up another edition of Tornado Talk. I want to thank all of our guests, defensive coordinator Shane Nelson, football student athletes Tyler Harrison and James Woods, volleyball coach Abbie Parde, and volleyball student athletes Blair Nance and Kendall Rockstad. Check out bctornadoes.com. You'll be able to find all the schedules, news, stats, and information. A lot of action coming up this week, including some home soccer matchups. Football will be on the road at Huntington, and then volleyball back at home on Tuesday of next week. Thank Joseph Marvin for producing this program behind the scenes, and thank you, NATO Nation, for tuning in once again and for all your support of Brevard College Tornado Athletics. Go